Hello everyone, Chad here with Kinetics for another at-home or travel workout. Keep in mind, when we perform these, most of the movements you should be able to do without equipment. In workouts like today, we do have one movement we'd really like you to find something to utilize for equipment if you do not have access to bands or kettlebells or dumbbells or anything like that. We'll talk about what that can look like a little bit, but as always, we have rep ranges and set ranges so that you can adjust based on the time you have available, what your current fitness levels are, so you can make this kind of fit your needs to the best of your ability. So let's get started. We have our prep section first. It's 3 to 4 sets of 3 movements today. 1 minute of jumping jacks, followed by 8 to 10 reps per side of a side plank with rotation. And then lastly, 25 to 30 reps of a frog pump. So let's take a look at these 3 movements. The jumping jack, hopefully you guys are familiar with, but just in case you're not for some reason. And we're just starting in that standing position. As I bring my arms overhead, my feet go out. Okay, nice and controlled here. I'm staying light on my toes. I want to try to make sure that my arms are moving right along the side of me where I'm not kind of coming out in front here. I want to bring those arms up overhead, and it's controlled, intentional movement, right? We're not using momentum to throw ourselves into positions ever. And that goes for simple movements like a jumping jack, as well as anything else we might do. After that, we have a side plank with rotation, 8 to 10 reps per side. So I'm going to get myself down into that good side plank position. From here, I'm going to reach under and rotate my chest toward the floor, and then come back up. So my chest is rolling down so it's facing the floor, and then coming back up to facing the wall. So I am actually rolling that torso each rep. 8 to 10 reps there of a side plank with rotation. And then our last movement of our prep piece is our frog pump. So this is a variation on a glute bridge. You're gonna put the soles of your feet together, okay, kind of like a butterfly position for a butterfly stretch or sit-ups. Right, and from there, I'm going to lay back, brace through my belly, and I'm elevating the hips, okay, squeezing my butt, pushing through the sides of my feet, that kind of blade edge of your foot. We keep those soles of the feet together, driving the hips up every single rep. It's a relatively small range of motion. Again, this is a variation of a glute bridge, so it should feel somewhat similar. Make sure that you're not arching and extending through that lower back on these. Okay, you got 25 to 30 reps there. We'll repeat those 3 things for 3 to 4 sets, after which we'll move on to our sweat piece. Sweat piece today, we have 6 to 8 sets total, 6 to 8 reps of lateral lunge on each side. Now today we're not gonna alternate, we're gonna isolate one side, okay? So you'll do 6 to 8 on your left, followed by 6 to 8 lateral lunges on your right. After that, we have 12 to 16 deadlifts. We're gonna give you a couple variations here. This is the point which I would like you to find something to load this movement with. Okay, if you do not have access to equipment, you can take a duffel bag or a backpack. You can load that thing up with some books or whatever else you might have available. It's heavy. We recommend taking some towels or some clothes, kind of wrapping around that so it keeps everything secure so it doesn't shift all over and you're not kind of banging the corner of a book into your knee or anything along those lines while you're moving. But you'll have 12 to 16 deadlifts, okay? And that might vary based on what you have access to. After the deadlifts, you have 1 minute of a reverse tall plank. So let's take a look at all of these. For our lateral lunge, remember, nice wide position with the feet, and I'm going to lunge or squat down toward one side, okay? Today, we're doing all those reps on that same side. Nice and controlled, keeping my torso up, keeping my foot flat on the leg that I'm squatting towards, okay? If you have access to equipment that you can load this up, by all means, dumbbell or kettlebell in that goblet squat, overhead position, front rack position, any of those work, okay? You could even mess around with getting a band, since we're doing them all on one side, getting a band around the leg that you are lunging toward. So in this case, it's around my right leg. So I would take that wide stance, and it's gonna pull me down into that position, and I'm gonna have to press up against that band. So by isolating left or right with that lateral lunge, we can actually use band tension for this movement. But you have 6 to 8 per side for that movement. Once we're done, then we're gonna move on to our deadlifts. So we have 12 to 16 deadlifts. Again, I'm gonna offer a couple solutions here as far as how we load this up. If you do have exercise bands, you're gonna go ahead and just stand right on that band. Make sure your foot placement is relatively even side to side. Okay, grabbing the loops of the band like a handle. Nice hinge position here, and we're performing that deadlift. Okay, squeeze in our butt. Remember, hip-driven movement. Hips shoot back. Squeeze the butt to stand. Staying braced through our belly. And nice flat back position. If you do have dumbbells or kettlebells, you can certainly use those. The idea being that we get about a couple inches or mid-shin kind of height here with our handles. I don't need you to touch the floor. Depending on how tall you are, how long your arms are, you may or may not get down that far. What we're looking for is the hand or the handle to be somewhere around mid-shin, maybe 3 to 4 inches below the knee, okay? If you're using kettlebells, it might depend on how heavy they are. Bigger kettlebells obviously reach the floor quicker than smaller ones do. So base your movement on what you have available, but understand that it's a hinge pattern, okay? We're pushing our hips back first, whether it's dumbbells, bands, kettlebells, sandbag, whatever. I'm hinging, squeezing my butt, and standing. Okay, if I do want to use a duffel bag or sandbag or anything like that I might have, same rules apply. Hinge position, flat back, pushing through the floor, squeezing my butt. It's a hip-driven movement, meaning my hips go back first, then the knees bend. Well, once we've completed 12 to 16 reps there, last movement that we have for our sweat piece is a reverse tall plank. So we're going to sit on our butt, bring those heels together, roll your shoulders down and back, and then extend those hips up, squeezing your butt, holding for 1 minute. Good, solid plank position here. We don't want to let the hips drop. Okay, we're just flipping that tall plank upside down. Okay, we're going to go through 6 to 8 sets of those 4 movements. Okay, moving continuously, prioritizing moving well. So if you do need to rest a little bit here and there, by all means do so. Once you've finished that up, we're going to spend 5 minutes in a child's pose, deep diaphragmatic breathing. So breathing into that belly, eyes closed, trying to relax further into that position. Okay, so if we're looking at our child's pose, in that kneeling position, sitting my hips back towards my heels, and then walking, sliding, reaching my hands out. Relaxing down that position, so forehead down to the floor. Using the breath to settle into that position. Spend at least 5 minutes here, deep belly breaths. Take this time for yourself. If you can extend it to 10 or 15 minutes and get a little bit of mindfulness or meditation that's integrated with the end of your workout, it's a great way to get a little bit more bang for your buck and use your time a little more efficiently while doing something really valuable for yourself. Enjoy your workout, and we'll see you guys next time.